Hi, I'm Kitty.
And I'm Jennifer.
And we're the O'Neill sisters, and we're going to show you how to make a leather and lace cuff.
This cuff bracelet is super easy to make and it's so wearable.
Let's get started. To get started, you'll need a leather band, and we got this at the craft store. It came with a snap closure already on it, so it's ready to go. And then you also need some lace, and our lace came on a spool, so we have scissors to cut it to the right length. And then we have a little trick we're going to do with the leather band. We're going to stain it a darker color. And to do that, we have some water-based stain from the craft store. The color we're using is oak. And to apply it, we're using a sponge.
To embellish our leather cuff, we've got a vintage brooch. This is a rhinestone and pearl brooch. And we're going to cut the pin back off of it using wire cutters. We're also going to embellish our cuff with some rhinestones. These are Swarovski crystal rhinestones that are flat back, 4 millimeters. We're going to use E6000 glue, and to apply the glue, we're going to use a toothpick. To get started, the first thing we want to do is to make our cuff just a little bit darker.
Yes, so to do that, we've got some oak wood stain, and this is from the craft store, like we said. It's water-based, which is very nice. And to apply it, we're just going to put a little bit onto our sponge here. And then we're going to apply it in circles on the cuff. So you might think you want to do it in stripes, but it really works better to put it on with a circular motion. So I'm just going round and round, getting it a little darker that way. Then I'll just add a little bit more.
You kind of layer it as you go, and that will help get rid of any streaky lines or marks.
And it really makes a beautiful color. We tested a lot of the different stain colors that they had. And, you know, they're all wood-based, so there's like
walnut and chestnut.
And that sort of thing. And we liked this oak color with the leather. We thought it went well with the leather. So then once you have your stain on like this, you just let it dry. And once it's dry to the touch, we'll be ready to do the next step. So our leather band is dyed here. And we also took the sponge and ran it around the edges of the leather band so the sides match the top of it. And the next thing we want to do is put on the lace.
You'd think that what you want to do is center your piece of lace on the band, just like that. Yeah. But the trick with this is that you want to make sure that this lace doesn't get trapped in the closure when you close the bracelet. So one thing you might want to do is go ahead and close the bracelet like this, the cuff, and see where this overlap is. And what you can do is, I'm just going to use my fingernail to make a little mark like that. It'll go away. But that's going to show me where this leather piece is going to cover up this end.
Yeah, so you don't need to put lace there. You don't need to put lace up under the closure. It would just get in the way. It wouldn't allow you to close it properly.
Exactly.
So we're going to put one end there, and then we're going to come to the other end. And we also don't want to cover up this snap. So I'm going to cut off the last flowers that are on top of that snap. And that's how long our lace is going to be. So you can just eyeball yours like that.
And it's nice not to cut right through the flowers in this particular lace.
So now we can center this between that line and the snap. And that's where we want our lace to go. Perfect.
And we're ready to glue our lace down. And to do that, we're going to use our E6000. Yes. And there's no real magic to this. Basically, I'm going to hold the lace in place since we have it where we want it.
Yes.
And then I'm just going to fold it back and kind of hold it with my fingers like this and apply some glue to the underside. And the idea is to get the glue on the parts of the lace that are kind of the least lacy. I'm not sure how else to say that.
The biggest pieces, like in this case it's these flowers, have the most surface area to put the glue on.
That's right. And that way the glue won't just go right through the lace. So I'm going to go ahead and put that down, kind of center it between the edges there. And now that part's tacked down, I can move and pull the next section back.
Yes, and glue that down.
And glue that down.
When we picked this lace ribbon, we picked it out because it was a little bit narrower than the leather band. And we like that because we like the leather showing on the sides of the lace. But you could also use wider lace than that and have it kind of frill out over the edge. And that could be pretty too.
Yeah, it's pretty much whatever you want. That's one of the things we like about this particular craft is that it can be very free-form. Yes. I'm just going to keep applying the glue to my flowers here.
And this is E6000 is just a general all-purpose craft glue. We like this glue for this kind of project.
It's particularly great because you can use it for both the fabric and the rhinestones, yes, and the brooch.
You don't have to switch glues. That looks great.
One more.
I really like how this ivory or cream colored lace looks on top of the leather, and the color that we dyed the leather. It turns out it's really pretty.
Yes, it's very boho.
Yes. So now that we have the lace on, we can put the brooch on. And what you want to do is you want to take your brooch, or if you have maybe a shank button, or maybe it's an old-fashioned clip-on earring, you want to cut the back off so it's flat. We've actually already cut the back off this one. It was just in our collection. We must have thought we were going to use it for something. But I do want to show you what that looks like. So here's a different brooch we're not going to use for this, but I'll just demo how to cut the back off this pin. This has a hinge on one side and the little claspy part at the other. And what we want to do is just cut those loose. And I find with these heavy-duty wire cutters, you can just squeeze a few times in different directions. I just go around it and squeeze a few times, and it'll start to come loose.
It just takes a little bit of elbow grease and just kind of keep pressing and pressing.
It's really something you just sort of work at it a little bit at a time. And then that's how you'll pop off the back.
The idea is that you just want the back of your vintage brooch, or if you're using vintage earrings or even a shank button, you want it to be as flat as possible, yes, to get good surface area with what you're gluing onto.
Yes. So that side's done.
Great.
That's nice and flat. And we'll just do the same to cut the other side off and make sure that this is just nice and flat so it'll have a good surface area to contact the leather cuff.
And since we already did that with this vintage brooch, we're ready to glue that on. And again, we're just going to use our E6000 for that. And this brooch is actually, it kind of caves in a little bit. So what I'm going to do is apply the glue to the spots that are a little more raised, like where the pin back was. And then all the way around the edge here.
You just want to make sure it's got good contact with the cuff. Then we want to center it on the lace, not on the cuff, because we've got different sides on there. We're going to center it on the lace piece. And I'm just going to count how many flowers we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 flowers. So we'll have 6 on one side. We'll do 6 on the other. So we're going to glue it on this center one right here.
Perfect. And I'm just going to go for it.
Yes. And that looks great just as it is, but we like a little bit extra bling.
So we're going to add some bling with some rhinestones.
Yes. These are flatback rhinestones, which means the back is flat, perfect for gluing.
So we're going to use our E6000 again. And instead of trying to hold the rhinestone like this and squeeze the E6000 onto it, you're going to get way too much glue. What we like to do is use a toothpick and basically squeeze a little bit of the E6000 out and get a little bit on the tip of the toothpick. And I'm just twirling the toothpick so that I can kind of control how much I'm getting on there, kind of in a little ball, like that.
That's great.
Whoops, there we go. Got a little too much. There we go. And then I'm going to pick up my rhinestone, apply a little bit to that back of that rhinestone, that nice flat back. Yes. And then we decided we want to add the rhinestones in between the flowers directly onto the leather.
Yes, the rhinestones look so nice on the leather itself that we're going to glue them right onto the leather. And we're just putting them in between each of these little flowers. Whatever your design is, your lace design can help you decide where to put the rhinestones.
Exactly. So I'm going to do another one opposite that one here. And there are some glues that you can buy that have a precision applicator, the tiny little kind of like a needle on the end. Yeah. And they work great for rhinestones also, but we like the idea of not switching glues on this project.
Yeah, this glue works for both the lace on leather and also the rhinestones and the brooch. So we like sticking with the one glue. So
we're just going to keep embellishing the leather cuff with our rhinestones one at a time until we have a rhinestone in between each one of our flowers. Yes. And then our cuff will be done. Thanks so much for making this project with us.
And if you want to see more crafts like this, come join us on our blog at runningwithsisters.com.
Happy crafting!